Hello everyone, this is MJ and today I'm going to talk about ENFJ. Once again, that is my personality type, that's what I type. And I'm going to talk about the functional analysis of psychological types. So first thing I want to talk about with ENFJ is our extroverted feeling. Okay, so with our extroverted feeling, we usually seek harmony and approval. And I'll give you guys an example of how this usually plays out. For example, we are sensitive to chaos, I guess you can say, more or less conflict, I think it is. And we try to avoid conflict at all costs. And a lot of times we sweep that conflict under the rug, hoping that it will go away and things will go back to normal. We're also approval seeking, and I think it plays out more or less with me in my life as an ENFJ. It played out more in my childhood. I was always seeking the approval of my parents and always wanting, especially my mom, to be happy with what I was doing. And so I would spend a lot of my time focusing on doing things that I knew would make her happy, helping to arrange family get-togethers, things like that I knew she really enjoyed. I invested a lot of time in that because, well, obviously I was seeking my mother's approval. There is a rumor that ENFJs tend to be teachers' pets and favorites of parents. I don't know how true that is, but I'm just going to put that out there. So yeah, we seek harmony and we seek approval. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that we are highly sensitive to the social climate. And this plays out majorly in my life because I'm always watching for the reactions of people, their emotional states and things like that, because I want to be there to kind of help them out. I'm also that friend that I think is called upon to give advice when my friends are going through something emotional or they need some kind of support. I think ENFJs tend to be very supportive, especially of their loved ones and their friends. And so I get a lot of phone calls a lot of times where I'm just on the phone, sometimes for hours upon hours, and I may have something really important to do, but for some reason I feel obligated to stay on that phone call and listen to that person and kind of, ask them what they need and try to give them that, whether it be advice or just a listening ear. And no matter how important all my other tasks are, I tend to be stuck there trying to make sure that I help this person through whatever it is they're going through. So we're very sensitive to the social climate and how people feel and what's going on around us and group dynamics and things like that. We are very sensitive to rejection, and so we are constantly thinking and intuiting what someone else is feeling about us, I think, because we want to be seen in a good light. So that's something that I think constantly is running through our minds as we're thinking about life and thinking about other things. We're picking up on what other people are thinking about us, how they feel about us, and I find myself personally constantly analyzing other people, and it's like something that's automatic that I cannot stop doing. It's just, as soon as I'm in the presence of somebody, I immediately start doing that. And I got my degree in psychology, and so when people ask what did I major in college, and I say psychology, and they'll say, oh, you're probably analyzing me, and I'm thinking to myself, it has nothing to do with my degree. It's what I do. It's just what I do. I can't help it. So anyway, that is extroverted feeling. Our feelings are focused more or less on the external world, and they're focused more or less on people and relationships. We're very, very passionate about people and relationships. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is introverted intuition. Okay, and this plays out, introverted intuition for me as an ENFJ plays out in my life in my interest in music. And I love dance. I love humanitarian causes. And I think my imagination is always running wild. So I think my introverted intuition plays out that way. And I have a very, very strong I would say it is a gift of being able to project future events. And I can listen to stories. Let's just say if a girlfriend of mine calls me up and she starts telling me about what's happening in her life, and it may be an issue or something that's bothering her, and she's really not sure what she should do or what her next step should be. If she tells me the story, and this happens a lot, she'll start telling me the story, and I'll listen to the story, and when she's done telling me the story, I can give her several different possibilities that are going to play out in this event and what she could do to kind of combat those events. So it's almost like in my mind, I can see how something is going to play out in the future, and I can also make contingency plans for each of those outcomes. And I find that it's easier for me to do that with somebody else than it is in my own life. And I hate it, because if I was really good at doing that in my own life, I would be unstoppable. But yeah, I'm better at helping other people do that than I am myself, and I hate that. But yeah, I'm really good at that, and a lot of my friends will call me, tell me stories, and have me to just present to them a couple of different things that I think will happen. Another reason why I hate that is because I'm always warning people and giving advice to people that they don't necessarily want, and I'm like, okay, do not do that because this is probably going to happen, and then it happens. And they're kind of like not happy with me because they're like, you jinxed me. Anyway, all right, so the next thing I want to talk about is extroverted sensing. Oh my god, extroverted sensing. Oh, extroverted sensing is like my Achilles heel. Okay, extroverted sensing, I think, plays out for me as an ENFJ in my life. Basically, I always want novel sensations, and I enjoy novel appearances. And I'll give you guys a prime example of that. I used to think I was an ESFJ maybe, because I'm really into physical things at this point in my life. Like, I'll give you guys an example. You know, I love to exercise. I'm always on some kind of exercise regimen, and I'll get bored with it. So I need that novel sensation. So I'll skip from different types of exercise. I went from marathoning to yoga, from yoga to cycling, from cycling to swimming, from swimming to fishing, from fishing to water skiing and snow skiing, from that to scalloping. I mean, just whatever you can think of. If it's a thrill or a novel physical sensation or something like that, I'm all over it. So for a long time, it made me think that I was an S type, but I knew I had very strong intuition. So that kind of it made me think like, I really don't fit into the box of an S type. So I settled on ENFJ after I took the test a couple of times, and I kept getting ENFJ. But for a long time, I thought that I was an S type because of all the sports and physical activities that I enjoy doing. I'm developing a greater appreciation for details in my life. Details are not my strong point. They're definitely not my strong point. But as I'm getting older, I'm developing more of a love of details and an appreciation for details, especially when it comes to, like, I do other videos, if you guys don't know, beauty, hair, makeup videos. And of course, those things are very detailed, especially makeup, the different techniques for makeup and things like that. And so I really get into that. I really enjoy it. And so it's the details that really spark my passion for makeup and for beauty and things like that, and hair. So yeah, I like that. Extroverted sensing also plays out in ENFJs as we have a high need for material comforts. And for me, that's another thing that made me think maybe I was an S type, because I had a high need for material comforts. But I think ENFJs are more liberal than SI types. So, you know, I just see it as, yeah, I do have a high need for material comforts, but I'm very liberal in that kind of thought of, you know, how to get to that material comforts, what's it about, And a lot of those things I want to be applied to humanitarian causes. You know, I can never just see myself always thinking about the bottom line. If I'm thinking about the bottom line all the time, I'm thinking about the bottom line, but I'm also thinking about how can I use, you know, the extra money I get or the extra comforts, how can I share those? How can I share those with my family and friends and other people? And how can I affect the lives of other people with money I make or material possessions or things like that? So it's a very unselfish, I guess, way of having my extroverted sensing play out. The last one I want to talk to you guys about is introverted thinking, which is an inferior function for ENFJ. And I guess as we get older in life, we're developing our introverted thinking more. For me, I think it's playing out in me wanting to play computer games and wanting to do strategic things like strategic thinking activities where I'm trying to do things like I'm not into playing chess, but I will watch chess games and try to think of, you know, different ways that that game can play out. So I guess the strategic thinking skills for me and my introverted thinking is something that I'm developing. I'm more and more enjoying studying controversial issues and topics, subjects, and things of that nature. I think I do need to develop my introvert thinking a lot more. I think for ENFJs, like I said before, that's an inferior function and it's something that we definitely have to work on. And I think as we get older, it becomes stronger. So having a certain personality type does not put you into a peg square. You can grow and develop and work on your weaknesses and even improve on some of your strengths. You can make them even better. So I know for a lot of people, personality types is something akin to horoscopes, and people are like, oh, you know, it's just a bunch of hoopla, but it's really not, because it can help you understand others better, also understand yourself. And so I'm very passionate about psychology. I'm very passionate about type analysis and things like that, and I love it. So I just decided that I would add this to my collection of videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, I am MJ and I am an ENFJ, and today I thought I would give you guys a functional analysis of my personality type. I will make another video very soon, and I hope to see you guys there. Please like or subscribe, take a journey into some of my other videos, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.